Our mission was to put Jordan on the quality wine world map. I started in a house of a wine trader, so wine was all around me when I started realizing the world. And my father always believed in the Jordanian wine. And back then we were importing some wines from Latrun and Kremizan monasteries from the west back then. And he always had this belief that Jordan can produce greater wines than anywhere else. I was young and I had no choice. I had to believe in this.
Excellent.
When we wanted to produce wine in 1996, we had to find local wine grape varietals. There was none, so we had to start growing them in Jordan. We had to start from scratch, build our experience, how and what to grow in Jordan. In the world there are thousands of wine grape varietals. So I chose 32 varietals, the noble varietals, the varietals that I like to see in Jordan. I wish to have a Jordanian Cabernet, I wish to have a Jordanian Merlot, but I also dreamed of having a Jordanian Gewürztraminer, a Jordanian Pinot Noir. We had to test and see what are the best grape varietals that can grow in this particular climate, how we can prune it, how we can deal with it, the best way to grow it, and then what are the best varietals that can grow there, all the viticultural techniques. Then we moved to the actual winemaking. We have to know how the wine produced from this grape should be done. What are the techniques we should be following? Should we follow the French school, the New World school, the Italian school, or our school? And that's what we decided. We decided to break all rules and really test everything. And basically our technique is very simple. Do nothing. Just allow the grape to ferment and it will give you the best result. We never harvest our grapes mechanically. All is done by hand. And usually we prefer the women's hand. They treat the bunches in a more gentle way than men. We transport our wines to the winery in refrigerated trucks. The reason for that is that we want to start with cold grapes when the grape is being fermented. The only mechanical process we do when we receive the red grapes is that we destem them. We don't want the stems in the wine when we ferment. The stems will give so much astringency and harsh tannin to the red wine. The crusher is a machine that we don't use when we handle the red grapes. We let the berries of the red grapes as whole as possible, and then we transport them into the fermentation tanks. Usually we do the fermentation of red grapes in stainless steel tanks. The reason that we don't crush the grapes is that we would like to have as much as possible some fermentation inside the berry. The only problem that some winemakers might face is that they would have blockage of fermentation, but we are quite confident of our juice and our grape. They have balanced nutrients and they have balanced food for the yeast to continue its work until the end. After the wine is fully fermented, we transport it into French oak barrels, and it depends on the wine quality that we want to achieve and the wine quality we started with. It depends how much time the wine stays in these barrels, between 4 to 16 months. Our reserve version stay for a longer period than the standard St. George range. When you grow grape in a climate that gives the grape the chance to express itself in the maximum character, in the maximum taste, in the maximum aroma, in the best conditions, where you have vines aligned with the wind direction. The grape grows when it's always aerated, lots of sunshine, soil that's so complex. The grape is always under stress. It will limit the production, but it will have more concentrated juice. You will have a grape that has the best of its character. You will taste a grape that tastes like a Muscat, that tastes like a Pinot Grigio. And nature can give you more than 30 different tastes. Just don't interfere. Let the grape express itself. And when you do the vinification, let the natural flavor and aroma of this juice come into the wine. You'll have 30 different individual wines that everyone has its own character, has its unique taste, and it has its unique flavor. And this is what we do in Jordan. Since 1996, when we started growing grapes in Jordan, we never used artificial fertilizers or pesticides. And last year we were inspected and certified organic by IMO, the Institute of Market Ecology. It's a body that is accredited to certify organic production in America, Europe, and Japan. We are proud to say that we are the first organic wine in the region. In Jordan, we don't need to spray anything in the summer because it's dry. It's not a favorable condition for diseases and funguses and pests and spiders to grow. We can really grow 100% without spraying any pesticides. We don't need to spray pesticides. This all will give you a grape that is healthy, that has its own character, its own varietal. The aroma is the characteristic of that specific grape. At the same time, when you do nothing, when you don't spray, you don't break the cycle of nature. We have the ladybirds that are cleaning the leaves of the grape from any pests that can grow on them. The wasps are our natural pesticides. The birds eat the worms. When you have, for every pest, you have a predator. If you don't spray, if you don't break the cycle of nature, then you'll have a healthily produced grape. When the grapes are not pushed to overproduce by spraying all these artificial fertilizers, you don't put salt in your soil so that you force the grape to produce more quantity. We don't want more quantity. We want a more complex grape. The only interference we have is that we irrigate. But even when we irrigate, we don't add any fertilization to the water. The only fertilization thing that we add to the water is the fish manure. And then we take this nitrogen enriched water and use it as our irrigation water. So even this nitrogen that we are adding to our soil is really natural. After we do the harvest, we clean our soil. So we have a specific clone of Jordanian sheep called the Wasi, and this is a very interesting thing. This sheep only eats the leaf of the vine. It doesn't touch the trunk. It's really interesting to see the sheep eating the vine as if it's a baby licking his lollipop. And this was the first time when I saw it. We had a stray sheep that entered in the vines, and I thought it was a disaster because I always saw these goats, taking the vines out of the root. And it was eating the leaf in a way only with the lips. They ate all the dry leaves. They left nothing for the pests to put their eggs in. We had a very naturally clean vineyard. And this is when we started doing every year, letting the specific herd of sheep that we keep to do our herb cleaning every winter.
Here we have what, five varietals, and each with very well-defined characteristics. For a country that is a virtual unknown entity on the in the wine-producing world, the land, the climate, and the winemaker himself are presenting us with a range of unexpected but interesting wines.
The wine has to be served and consumed in the proper way. we needed to develop the wine culture in Jordan. So we came up with this idea, the Winemaker, which is a wine center which has a small academy in it where we teach people who are interested to know about wine, about the way they should serve wine, what to look in a wine, how to taste wine, and to pair wine with food, compare different types of wines, taste the Jordanian wines versus Chilean versus French. In 2009, we participated for the first time with the Jordanian wine in an international competition. We sent our Gewürztraminer to Vinali International, which is the Union of a French winemaker, and managed to get a silver medal for this wine. Although this wine was only 6 months of age, it was really young, but we got this medal. And it was such a great news for us that finally Jordan is on the quality wine world map. We were so happy that finally, when you go to the Vinali International website, there is Jordan. Last year there was not Jordan. Jordan was not even recognized as a wine country. So not only we are a wine country now, we are a wine country that has a medal. And this is a really interesting wine for me. European varietal with a Jordanian twist. Shiraz from Côte d'Ivoire, but in a more powerful version. It's much stronger in alcohol and much more expressive in all the fruits that it has. Again, this wine has won a medal in the Japan Wine Challenge. This is the new range of St. George, the winemaker selection. Every year we're choosing the best batches and the best varietals that we have. We have Fiano, Cabernet Sauvignon, Viognier, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Chenin Blanc. 3 out of these wines, actually 4, have already won international medals before they were released. Chenin Blanc, Chardonnay, Viognier, and the Cabernet Sauvignon. People literally laughed at me. I mean, winemakers from Europe, they called me and they said, "Do you expect really to have a quality Pinot Noir from Jordan?" I said, "Yes, why not? Let's see. If the nature of Jordan would grant us such a gift, then you will see a Jordanian Pinot Noir. You will see a Jordanian Gewürztraminer." And that's exactly what happened.